There's a quiet power in knowing what belongs to you and what doesn't. Most of our suffering, frustration, and confusion arises from one simple error. We try to control things that were never ours to begin with. This is the timeless wisdom of Stoicism's greatest insight, the dichotomy of control, the ability to clearly separate what is within your power from what lies beyond it. "2,000 years ago, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus began his teachings with the single idea: some things are in our control, and others are not. It seems simple enough, almost too simple. But if you truly understand this distinction and live by it, your life changes. What's in your control? Your thoughts, your choices, your actions, your attitude. What's not in your control? Other people, the past, the weather, your reputation, your body's aging, even the final outcome of your efforts." Epictetus compared life to a game. You can play well, but you can't control the rules or how the dice fall. Imagine you're preparing for a job interview. You spend hours researching the company, practicing your answers, dressing well. These are the things you control: your preparation, your presentation, your effort. But the interviewer's mood, the number of candidates, the final decision, those are not in your control. A Stoic would say, do everything within your power to the best of your ability, and then let go. If you don't get the job, you don't lose peace. You've done your part. The rest was never yours. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, a man burdened with wars, betrayal, and the weight of an empire, wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." For Marcus, even as storms raged outside the palace walls, his true citadel, his inner citadel, remained untouched. He couldn't control the empire's fate, but he could control his reaction to it. He couldn't stop people from lying or plotting, but he could control his judgment about them. That's the heart of Stoicism: to remain steady in an unsteady world. Think of your life today. Traffic jams, rude comments, sudden illness, bad news, all constant reminders of how little we truly control. Yet, within all that chaos, one circle remains: the circle of your own mind. When someone insults you, you can't control their words, but you can control whether those words wound your peace. When plans fall apart, you can't control the outcome, but you can choose patience instead of panic. When life changes unexpectedly, you can't control the change, but you can adapt with calm and grace. This is the dichotomy of control and action. Control the controllable. Accept the uncontrollable. Think of an athlete training for years. To compete, she controls her diet, her sleep, her practice, her focus. But when the day comes, maybe it rains, maybe she trips, maybe she doesn't win. Is that failure? Not for a Stoic. The Stoic athlete knows. Victory lies not in the medal, but in the effort, because her peace was never tied to the outcome, only to her discipline, her integrity, and her intention. That's what Epictetus meant when he said, "Freedom is not achieved by satisfying your desires, but by removing your desire for things outside your control." In our digital age, this lesson is harder than ever. We scroll, refresh, argue, and obsess, believing that opinions, algorithms, and global events are somehow ours to control. We crave control over everything, but that craving is what controls us. True peace begins when you say, "I don't need the world to behave a certain way for me to be okay." Once you accept that, your inner life becomes unshakable. You stop reacting to every disturbance because you know it's not yours to fix. Let's take something simple. You miss your flight. Most people get angry, stressed, anxious. But what does anger control? Does it rewind time? Does it make the plane return? No. The Stoic response is clear. What's done is done. Control what remains. Find the next flight. Read a book. Use the time to reflect. Peace, not panic, is always a choice, even in airports. The dichotomy of control doesn't mean indifference. It means wisdom. You still care deeply, but you no longer cling. You work hard, but you release attachment to results. You love others, but you don't try to own them. You act justly, even if the world seems unjust. You realize that your true task is to govern your own soul, not the universe. As Epictetus said, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. Inside each of us lies an inner citadel, the calm, rational core that nothing can touch without our consent. Pain may knock on the door, loss may shake the walls, but your citadel remains. If you guard it with reason and self-discipline, you can lose wealth, health, status, even friends, but you cannot lose the ability to respond with virtue, courage, and clarity. That's what the Stoics meant by freedom. Each morning, remind yourself, what can I control today? Your attitude, your effort, your response. And ask again, what can I not control? Everything else. Then focus entirely on the first list and let the second drift away. Because the moment you stop fighting the uncontrollable, you gain back the energy to master yourself. In the end, the dichotomy of control is not a theory. It's a way of living. When the world is loud and uncertain, your calm becomes your rebellion. When people act unjustly, your virtue becomes your answer. When fortune changes, your steadiness becomes your strength. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. You can't control what happens, but you can control how you meet it. And that always makes all the difference. This is the power of the inner citadel, the fortress within you that no storm can breach.